Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 are on their way to the Nintendo Switch. And I was kind of expecting this, Nat. I'm going to be honest here. We talked about it last week on the podcast, actually. We mentioned that I think this is coming. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that when they announced this last week, so if you didn't know, what happened is basically they announced that it's coming out in Japan, 1, 2, and 3, as a digital-only, separately purchased products. And they also announced a physical version that was coming to the Asia-Pacific regions. We've seen this happen before with Secret of Mana Collection, and that came over here as well. So when we're going into this, I thought this is a pretty high chance that Square is going to bring this worldwide. Why wouldn't they want to?
Yeah, it was funny. Like, literally just a week ago, you're like, yeah, they're definitely going to bring it everywhere else. And now, a week later, here we are talking about it. It's been announced.
I flaunted the word guaranteed, but, it came true anyway. So here we are. It's coming, and they're not exactly what I expected.
Why is that?
Okay, so when I just heard about the news, I didn't do any reading into it. I thought they were just going to be like a port of the NES game. They're just going to grab that NES game, throw it on the Switch. There's 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's what I would have assumed they would have done as well.
This is what I was assuming.
Yeah.
And doing a little bit of deeper diving into this, that's not the case here at all. So these, I guess the mobile, what do you call them, mobile versions? Although I have heard that these aren't the exact one-to-one of a mobile version. In other words, this actually got ported to the PS4 at a stage, and the PS4 versions had slightly different sprite work in some of those locations, like maybe the character sprites or something like that. So it sounds slightly different, but what you kind of expect here is basically the mobile version of the game, which I don't want the mobile versions.
Yes.
We'll see though. It doesn't have to be bad. And also then I looked at the game and I'm like, I don't know if the art style of this appeals to me. I'd almost prefer just to see the NES graphics, but they did bring over some improvements. You can save anywhere now and stuff like that. So,
well, that's definitely handy.
Yeah, so it will be the better version by the sounds of it. And if you check out the eShop as well, you see the price for it, which is interesting as well.
Okay.
So the prices, I was thrown off of this by first. The prices are we're going to go US here, but they're going to be $5 for number 1. $6.50 for number 2, and then $12.50 for number 3.
That's interesting. I'd really like to know where they got these prices from, because
I do right now, Nat. They grabbed this little thing and just pulled this thought out of their head and went, "Yep, that's the price."
I am a little bit confused on why the prices are so different, especially between 1 and 3.
Okay, so I can tell you why the prices are different. I don't know if it's a real great justification, but I can tell you why the prices are different, and that is simply the mass of the game, how much game there is to each one of these games. So when the first game came out, 10-hour RPG on average or something like that, so not a huge RPG, and obviously the mechanics were even stripped back. You guys might know this, but the first Dragon Quest game wasn't even a party game. You were a hero, you weren't a quest of heroes going out on an adventure. It wasn't until they started to get to 2 and 3 that you started to actually expand on that idea, get to a bigger game, and jumping from a 10-hour RPG to a 30-hour RPG with a bunch more mechanics. That's where they're kind of justifying this price, which in some ways I can understand, because if I thought about this as the NES version and just porting 3 NES games over, I'd be like, guys, let's make the 3 NES games the same price. What are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
But there is some work put into making these into their certain versions, and they are bigger than some. So, I guess they can charge what they want, and the consumer will decide if that's worth it to them.
Okay. I do think that makes sense now that you've explained that.
You got that physical version bundle. Again, you can only get that from PlayAsia at the moment, and it's a little bit more pricey than buying the game separately.
Yeah, so I was looking at the Australian price. I think it's close to $61.
Yeah, $61, which the games together, I would assume would be something if you bought them all separately in Australia, for comparative sake here, probably be half of that, 30 something,
Yeah.
So yeah, it does seem fairly pricey to go grab that physical version if that's what you wanted, but I almost imagine that's what I would want as well. If that was available here, I'd be like, just get that physical.
Yeah,
with
exactly.
All of them.
I've never played any of the original Dragon Quest games. So they're definitely something I would like to give a go. And just knowing there's a physical out there, it's I'm tempted. I'm really tempted just to go for that physical.
Yeah. And if you are interested in that physical, an important note here is that the cover itself is a little bit different. We've seen World of Final Fantasy in the past from Square Enix. They brought that game over. Now, the cover itself of that game was all in English.
Yes.
So you could see everything in English and understand it all. Now, when you pick up this one, everything's not in English. The Dragon Quest maybe, but the rest of it isn't.
Yeah, so that was one of the first things I noticed was, because, like you said, World of Final Fantasy, all in English. Obviously, we can't see the back cover of this game, but I'm assuming it's going to be in Japanese.
You would assume so.
Yeah.
And so that kind of sets up some red flags thinking, can I actually get this and can I play it? If you're just after the box. And it looks like, you should be able to. It says on there, it's got the English dialogue.
English subtitles.
Which is like the entire game since there's no voiceover. So, yeah. So it looks like you should be able to play it in English anyway if you do get that version.
Exactly.
But, yeah, bonus. Glad the games are coming over here, and we're not going to have to wait long, Nat, as it turns out.
No, they pretty much dropped them the same day Dragon Quest XI's coming out.
Yeah, well, and that surprised me actually, because when I heard about this, that wasn't what I was expecting.
No.
When I was thinking, I thought like it's going to be in the future sometime. They're just going to announce it, or like if they do announce it, but they're just like the next day, just bam, here it is. It's coming. Dragon Quest XI coming out. When's Dragon Quest XI coming out? What's the date on that?
27th of September.
And then so these bam, same day and date with Dragon Quest XI. So I think that's great.
So if you're a massive Dragon Quest fan, you're just going to have a field day.
I know. What do? Play the latest game. Trust me.